Joining us now, Dr. Leigh, board-certified physician and medical director of Game Day Men's Health. Welcome to you and thank you. What's happening right now to contain the spread of what is a deadly virus?
Yeah, it is a deadly virus, and even healthy people can succumb. But it is not like a COVID or the measles, so it shouldn't cause a pandemic. This strain from Argentina, the Andes strain, can spread human to human, but you have to be in very close contact or intimate relationship. So what they're doing now is this contact tracing. People that came back to the U.S., they are asking them to quarantine because sometimes it can take 6 to 8 weeks before you see the symptoms, but then also contact tracing for their very close family members, partners, things like that. It isn't something that if you're casually walking in a grocery store and somebody coughs, you can get it. The majority of the cases in the U.S., and there's only about 900 a year, are in the Southwest, and they come from exposure to mice or sometimes prairie dogs, even droppings and things like that.
Right, that can become airborne. I don't want to feed the fear, but these people who disembarked the boat took planes back to the U.S. Should we be concerned if I'm on a flight with one of these people? Is that not considered close contact with kind of recirculating air?
It's not as bad as people that are, sharing other things, saliva, bedding, sleeping. But that's why they are doing the contact tracing and they're checking it. But it still is not as bad as COVID. And remember, when people were flying during COVID, they were encouraging masks, but the air is being filtered as it's recirculating too. So it's much harder to contract than those other respiratory viruses. And that's why we're really sort of not worried about a worldwide pandemic, according to the World Health Organization. But it does highlight how these emerging diseases are very important and how we have to have a global public health community. I know that we're not part of the World Health Organization anymore, and we did cut some funding for emerging infectious diseases, but it has to be a coordinated effort for sure.
It definitely is a reminder, doctor, of the vulnerability that we all face, right? Our health we take for granted until something happens, like a COVID, which is still fresh in so many people's minds. The reason this hantavirus is getting so much attention is because of the person-to-person contact, the Andes strain of it. What do we know about the incubation of that, and for folks who may have been exposed, how they could carry it and not show symptoms?
Well, the incubation can be long, and that's why they are quarantining on the ship and asking people that actually left to quarantine at home. And our CDC is doing contact tracing because it can be 6 to 8 weeks before you have symptoms. Now, right now, there's no vaccine, no antivirals that we know of that can help, and it can cause a very severe pulmonary syndrome where you have fluid that builds up in your lungs. So people often end up in the ICU on ventilators. There's no permanent damage if you survive it. So the sooner that it's detected in you after an exposure, the better you can start this supportive, aggressive measures per se. But it does have a long incubation, and that's why they're doing the contact tracing for people that they came into contact. But again, it's usually prolonged and very close contact.
Well, it's reassuring the necessary steps are being taken to keep this from spreading right now. Doctor, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Devastating scenes in southern Mississippi after